Hello everyone, welcome to our weekly progress video 3 for our OOP semester project. So as we already told you regarding at the end of this video second that we will be developing that we already developed Dijkstra algorithm and we will be implementing on a game, but we got to know that the Dijkstra we developed was to use to find the shortest path towards the plant, but we were not able to restrict it only for four corresponding adjacent blocks since our game requirement was this. So we have developed another algorithm. We have named it wave propagation path finding algorithm. So the function wave propagation path, as you can see on my screen now, takes input a two-dimensional array of entry structs called grid, which represents the grid of obstacles. Each entry struct contains a Boolean variable obstacle indicating where the grid cell is an obstacle, and an integer variable attack indicating the attack power at the grid cell. The function also takes as input the dimensions of the grid, the start, end position, start row, start column, plant row, and plant column, as you can see in the arguments. The implementation first generates a graph from the grid using input using the generate graph function, as I already make the function over here, generate graph function. This function generates a new two-dimensional array called graph, which has the same dimension as the input grid. Each cell in the graph array is set to 0, except for the cells that correspond to obstacles in the input grid, which are set to -1. Moreover, the function then creates a two-visit vector of nodes, which initially contains only the end node. Basically the node corresponding to the plant position, which is with distance set to 1. The function also initializes an empty discovered vector of nodes. The implementation then enters a loop that repeatedly extracts the first node from the two-visit vector and adds its neighbors to the discovered vector. If they are not already in the discovered vector and are not obstacles in the graph, the getNeighbors function is used to add the neighbors to the discovered vector. You can see the getNeighbors function over here that we have developed. If the two-visit vector is empty, the discovered vector is assigned to the two-visit vector and the discovered vector is cleared. If both the two-visit vector and the discovered vector are empty, the loop is broken, which really makes sense. The loop continues until the start row and start column position